Hey, so I've got a bit of another project for Clifford. Recently, as some of you guys know, I live in northern Saskatchewan, Canada, so we're prone to a lot of snowfall. And just the other day, some parts of the province ended up getting around 50 centimeters of snow, which is substantial. So what I've got going on here is what I want to do. I want to take that old snowplow, which was designated for one of my side-by-sides, but since they're kind of out of count here for the moment, I'm going to retrofit this guy to go onto the front of Clifford. So I'm going to build kind of a bracket setup off the front there, get everything kind of set up so that I can just bolt it on quickly and do some snow plowing. Since I live on an acreage, I got a fair amount of snow to do, and a school bus for the kids and shit like that. So get everything cleaned out so the bus doesn't get stuck. So we're going to build a mount system, get that retrofit, and go from there. And all I'm going to do here at this point is take some of my 2x6 that I had initially used for rock sliders. I've got a fair amount of that left, so I'm going to get that measured up and cut so I can bolt it to the front of Clifford. Okay, so I've got my collars set in place. I've got them set into the mounting bracket, and as you can see there, they're sitting into the tow hook nicely on the passenger side. However, on the driver's side, I didn't, when I built this bumper, when I eyeballed this bumper, I didn't build it, I guess, exactly square compared to the other side, so I've got a bit of a gap going on here, and then my collar is sitting down just a little bit. So what I've done is I have to space it with a set of 3/16 plate on the inside to lift it up, so I can add a little bit more strength and get a little bit more height out of that collar. And then what I'm going to have to do is set some plate underneath the tow hook over top that collar to give it a lot more rigidity. If I don't do that, it's just going to bend as soon as I put any pressure on it. So now what I need to do is I got to take this plate, notch it, and get it set over top that collar to backfill this, so I've got a little bit more strength there. So what I've done here is, because of the fact that I'm not going to be able to weld my plate all the way around, I've drilled some holes to plug weld it into place just to help it from sliding around inside the seat, inside the 2x6 frame. The spacer tacked up and the spacer in the bottom all set into place. Just gonna let it cool for a second and I'll give her a test fit. So okay, so the front support bracket is set in place. Now I've just got some random bolts that I just happen to have kicking around the shop here, so I'll get the right ones or find some proper ones later. But what I want to do here now is I need to build a drop bracket, just because of the fact that the Jeep's got a bit of a lift to it and I need it to sit down a bit lower to get the blade angle properly, so it's not on such a steep decline when it's winched down. So I've got to do a drop bracket. I'm going to take the remaining 2x6 and I'm going to drop it down so I'll get it measured up and tack that into place. Now I may still need to do a bit of clearancing on this with this pin, but I think that's more than enough downward slope. That's a ton actually. And then I can winch it basically all the way straight up so I don't have to worry about the plow hitting anything when I'm driving or moving along. So I'll get this burnt in and a couple more spots just to make sure I don't have any other issues. And the nice thing about having it on a pin like this is because this is going to be fairly heavy when I'm mounting it up by myself, so I'll be able to unpin the plow from this plate, get the plate set up onto the truck, and then move this over and hook it up that way. Got the makings of the old piston broke plow mount. So a lot more to do here yet, but that's kind of the gist of it. Should work pretty good. Well, I've got the mounting system somewhat done on the blade itself. I've got everything kind of welded up. I could do a couple more braces and that sort of thing just to stiffen it, but for now that's done. I'm just currently working on the mounting plate for the that goes onto the Jeep itself, so that's where it mounts. I've got everything all welded up in here, so I'm just building the support for the back, get that welded in, because well, everything pushing on there are going to need some support so it doesn't bend everything backwards. So that's kind of how everything's sitting here at this point. Going to get that welded in, and then it's just of putting some trim on it. Kind of want to make it fit in and tie in with the look of the front bumper. So I'm going to build some plates and go across and do some gussets. All welded up. Now we're going to start building just some accent pieces. I'm just going to go off of here to there and there to there and just kind of give it a little bit more definition instead of just this block piece sticking on there. works. Sweet.